Hello and welcome to this demo video. Before we get started, I'd just like to explain to you a few things which will relate to all of the basic range spreadsheets. Number one, there is a key on the intro and setup tab of all of the spreadsheets showing what the different color headers mean. The blue headers mean that the cell's formulated, so it's locked and you can't change it. The yellow headers are where you can input data, and occasionally there might be some gray headers, which is just a different kind of data input, but we'll include instructions as and when that happens. The other thing that you can be aware of is there are ways in which you can damage the spreadsheet. So please do take a look at the link where you see this image, which will take you to a web page to show you how to better preserve your spreadsheet. Please feel free to keep a blank version of the spreadsheet somewhere, so that if you do mess up a spreadsheet that you're using, you can in fact just open a new one, a blank one. And some of the spreadsheets only last for a year, and then you've got a blank one to start the following year. So do keep a blank copy as a backup somewhere. And lastly, wherever you see this image, you can click on it. It'll take you back to the store where you purchased this product to see if you've got anything, any more products. One last thing, to see a demo video, you can click on this on a link that looks like this in order to go to the demo video, but that'll take you to the most recent demo. If in fact we've done upgrades and you're using an older version and you'd like to see the demo relating to your version, then do click on the watch on YouTube link, which will take you to that specific video on YouTube. So I think that's all you need to know. So without further ado, let's move on to this demo video. Thank you. Hello and welcome to the demo video for the Google Analytics report. Now this is one of the basic range products. There are other analytics reports for that use Google data, but they quite comprehensive and go into a lot of detail. And I've received a few requests from people saying they want something to show their Google Analytics, because Google Analytics itself is quite difficult to actually get to see the graphs you want. It stores a lot of data, it does a lot of things. But if you want to see specific things, it's quite difficult to do that. And people have said to me they want one where they can export the data, put it into a spreadsheet, see a layout per month over the year so they can see how they're progressing, what's going on. But they don't want to have all the extra graphs and charts and details and tables and things that's all confusing. So I've made a very simple version of it. Let me show you how it works. Starting month, starting year, that each spreadsheet lasts you for one year, whether that's a financial year or calendar year is up to you. So you can just simply select the month that you want to start the year, put in the year 2020, for example, whatever the year might be, and then you can put your website name in here. Now, this doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't collect any information, it doesn't do anything, it just displays on the report. When you put your starting month, let's actually just take that out. See, those ones will be blank because it doesn't know when it is. As soon as you select your starting month and put the year in, it'll say, okay, this is from Wednesday the 1st of January to Thursday the 31st of December. That's all correct. Your business name will be locked in there after purchasing it. Here's a link to the demo video. There you can watch it on YouTube. But that's your setup and that's all done. All that's left to do now is to collect 3 lots of data. I would recommend collecting it monthly, but if you want to monitor it daily, you can put it in daily. But obviously everything will be accumulated to show monthly figures. So monthly figures are probably, I would say, the most efficient way of putting them in. So how do you collect this data? Well, each month you go into at the start of a new month, go into Google Analytics. This is the route that you follow to collect the data, and you want to collect 3 lots. So you've got your Google Analytics audience overview. So if you go into Google Analytics and you click on audience down the left hand side and you say overview, this will now produce a graph for the current period. So what you can do now is you need to set that. So let's just say, for argument's sake, we want to collect September's data because we're now in October. If you go back, if you click on the calendar here and you say 1st of September to the 30th of September, 1st to the 30th, say apply, it gives you that date range. Now users and select metric. So what metrics do you need? Well, we want page views versus sessions at the beginning, the first one. So we go page views versus sessions. We've already done the date range, page views versus sessions, page view sessions, that's correct. So now all we do is we go to export and Excel SX. We've got that one. The next one that we need, duration versus bounce rate. So it's average session duration versus bounce rate. Average session duration versus bounce rate. The date range stays the same. Export to Excel. And then the last one is users versus new users. So if we go back and we say users versus new users, you want to put them in the right order, because then the data is all in the right order when you export it. Now you've got these three downloads. If we open up the first one, and the principle is going to be the same for all of them. You click enable editing first and foremost, click on dataset 1, widen that column a little bit so we can see what those dates are, and then copy the data. So you don't want the headers and you don't want the totals at the bottom. So if we start where the first date starts and go down as far as you don't want to take these two bottom values, the totals, right click, copy, and then you come into here. Now I've already put September in, so it's just override it, but you come here, right click, paste values, boom, and it puts those figures in and they're all under the correct column. So that's the first one. Now you want to do the second one, so you go back again, you open the second spreadsheet. This one should be average session duration versus bounce rate, enable editing, data set 1, there we go. Again, select from the first date down to there, right click, copy, back onto your spreadsheet. If you've done August last, now you're starting September, this will be blank. You can just go to the next blank row, right click, paste values, job done. And you do that for the third one as well. The third one this time will be, it should be users versus new users. So if we open that one up, always remember though, when you do start here, always click enable editing, otherwise it doesn't transfer data properly. And there you've got your new users versus new users, and you do the same thing, copy and paste values. Always paste values. If you use normal paste, if you come here and you were to use normal paste, it'll paste the formatting. You can see already that something's wrong. It doesn't do it. You always need to do paste values when pasting from an external spreadsheet. So once you've got those ones all in, each of their respective columns, if you want to sort, I haven't put the sort filters on because these aren't all related to each other, but you can come here and select all of this data, and you can go down up to data, and you can use the sort functions. I just didn't put the filters in because these columns aren't related to those columns, and so on and so forth. It doesn't necessarily matter if you put them in the right order. I mean, if you put February in first and then put January in afterwards, it doesn't really matter. It'll resort everything when it goes through to the report anyway, so it doesn't really matter as long as you've got all the days accounted for in those respective columns. They don't even need to line up. As long as this data lines up with each other, that lines up with each other, that lines up with each other, you're good to go. The last thing is the analytics report, which is all completely automated for you. So as you can come here, your website name will be in there. Here you can see your page views versus sessions each month. That will automatically calculate, everything on here will automatically calculate based on that data. Here you can see your bounce rate in the red behind. This is your bounce rate here. Those are the red things there. The green at the front is on this axis on the right, which is your average session duration in seconds. If you scroll down, you can see your new users versus returning users monthly. If you scroll down here, you can see all the figures, page view, session duration, so on and so forth. Here you can see page views per session, percentage of returning users, percentage of new users. And if you scroll down even further, you can actually see your page views and sessions for each day of the year. There's the first 6 months and there's the second 6 months. Now this isn't a full 6 months, so this will squash up as we get more and more days in the second half of the year. But you can see if you've got any particularly high days where things have gone crazy, or periods of the year where you are getting more views and things like that, so you can spot any trends and so forth. So that fairly simple report will all automatically generate from those two lots of data that have been put in. And that's it.
fairly straightforward. Lasts you year after a year. Use a new spreadsheet. So keep a blank copy of the spreadsheet. New year. When you get to the new year, you can just simply come and change the year, because the month should be the same that you're starting on. It'll rechange the year, and then just start putting in the data for the new year. We can see if we scroll on the bottom, it'll stop after 366 days. So you've got a year's worth of data that you can put in there. So yeah, I hope that that's helpful to you. If this is helpful to your business, please do purchase this, use it. It's a great way to actually get the wealth of data from Google Analytics and put it into something that's simple to understand, that you can see clearly and know exactly what's going on. And if that's useful to you, all the best for your website. Thank you very much, and goodbye.